the answers, tell me the answers. I could find you, I could find
From the Sporting News Studios, this is Hot Corner with your host, Matt Latevsky.
I got all the answers, all the answers. I could find you, I could find all the answers. If you let me get it close and study you.
After a week off, we're back. You were on vacation. I was lazy. That's how it works.
I had an excuse.
Look, the baseball season's long.
Yeah, but we needed a week?
It's a long season.
We needed a breather?
We need a little breather.
Would you call that a routine day of rest? A breather?
It was a day of rest. Everyone needs an off day.
Load management?
We need to clear our head. That's a basketball thing.
Yeah.
They don't do that in baseball.
They
need to clear their head sometimes.
Yeah.
Eric Ferreira, DAZN employee and fantasy baseball enthusiast. Matt Latevsky here. Sporting News fantasy baseball expert. I give myself top billing.
Yeah. Wait, this is the fantasy pod? I thought we were here to talk about dragons and magic. And
no, man. That's what you nerds do.
Man.
Who watch whatever show that is. Game of Thorns show. So anyway.
Game of Thorns.
We're going to get into... That's Norm Macdonald said.
Let me just say a few things about that. Just kidding.
You know another thing. Which was Arya all of a sudden?
All right. It's Arya, not Aria.
What's her name?
Arya.
Arya. Isn't that what I said?
Arya. Arya.
God. All right. We're going to talk about waiver pickups. We're going to go inside a stat that, not a standard stat.
Okay.
That sounded dirty.
That sounded just weird.
Yeah, it did.
Inside a stat.
No, but not RBIs and your favorite runs.
Right. Well, it's this year. It's the year of the runs.
No, it's a runs year. We're going to peel back some layers on another stat, how it can help you. We're going to get into our weekend streamers. We got a lot this week. And
that sounds like a fun little thing. Weekend streamers.
Weekend streamers. You weekend streaming this week, bro? Yeah. All right. And then we got a lot of closer talk. Lots of stuff has happened since last time we talked.
Like literally within, the last 12 hours and then updates before the podcast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hot news.
Late breaking news.
Hot closer news.
Man, too much. All right, so let's get to the waivers right away. We got a lot. I think this is a good group of waiver pickups.
This is our first, let's get into some waiver guys week, I think.
Because it's a lot of young, interesting guys who could go different ways.
And we always, the stats count double if they're young, right?
People swear, there's people who just want to be like, that's right, I got this guy. It's like, you're in 10th place. Right. But if you have the cool young breakout guy on your team.
Just remember back in the day.
Makes you happy.
The classic guy was Carlos Lee and his 85 RBI.
Yeah, boring.
Boring. But hey, 85 RBI, your little rookie guy's only going to get 60.
Right.
Count more.
262 with 20, what do you hit? 27 homers, 85 RBIs, and no one wanted, and he was fat. Let's be honest.
Yeah, well.
That hurt his cause.
Big boned.
Yeah, he was just a big dude. What do you think he's doing now?
He's probably minor league instruction somewhere.
You think so?
Yeah, or not.
I don't know what he's doing. He's the kind of guy who just sort of disappears.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, waiver pickups. We got a bunch of young ones. First one we're going to start with Nick Senzel, Reds, rumored to be coming up soon.
Mm-hmm.
Top prospect. On Yahoo, he can only play third. On ESPN, he can only play second. I think he's going to play the outfield. Maybe he'll play second, I guess, with Scoots out, right?
Yeah, well, I think that's his biggest spot.
Before the year, they said he was just going to play outfield, but then that kind of changed.
With what's his name? Jesse Winker.
Yeah.
We'll talk about. He might be holding down an outfield spot, and you got...
And Puig's not going anywhere. And you got Big Shebler.
Yeah, so, there's room out there, probably more fit at second.
Right.
And Scoot's still out for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so top prospect. He's been talked about for a while. Not really having that great a year.
Well, I was looking at his minor league stats, and I'm kind of like, what does he do a lot of?
Right.
I think his biggest... I look for homers and steals, right?
Sure.
We all look at.
Yeah.
And I think his max, what is he, around 13, I think?
Yeah, 2017, 14 homers between high A and double A. He's stolen as many as 18 bases he stole in 2016 between rookie and A ball. But look, he's young for these levels. So that's part of it. Developing power. We know we love that park. If he comes up and hits, takes walks, doesn't strike out a ton. There's a lot of good things. You look at the triple slash line. It's great.
Right.
all the way through the minors,
I've
basically.
also seemed to be looking up a lot of guys lately who have not hit a lot of minor league home runs.
Right.
And they get to the majors and they're hitting a bunch of home
Yeah,
runs.
I mean, I don't know what it
Weird.
is.
It's the same thing with Winker wasn't a big home run guy.
Right.
And he's got a bunch already.
Yeah, he's got a bunch this year. He was another guy.
Yandy.
Yeah, Winger's another guy who sort of had some minor league hype and then didn't do much as he progressed to the higher levels of the majors, and now this year maybe having a breakout. But back to Senzel, I think a guy you like, right? Like I said, he's not really playing that well this year. He's hitting 290, but the Ks are way up. His walks are way down at AAA. It would seem kind of like an odd time to me to call him up, but sometimes we see this. It's kind of what you're saying, where a guy almost maybe gets bored at AAA. He knows he's better than
Needs
that.
to play on those big lights.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it might have been Hanley Ramirez when he was coming up to the minors. They're like, yeah, lighting isn't really good in the minors. So once he gets to the majors, like literally lighting.
Right.
They're like, oh, he's the kind of guy once he gets to the majors, he's going to be way better. And
That's
I'm
kind of
like,
weird.
Really? I mean, he was, right? But
Yeah, sure.
they're still like, yeah, you can't trust those minor league parks. Like,
So worth a pickup, would you say?
Yeah, I mean,
In the middle?
you got to pick him up, right? Because he's a name, he's a prospect. I
guess.
But I mean, only if you can play him in middle infield.
Right.
Like, I don't know if he can move the needle anywhere but average, maybe. I mean, I guess he can hit some homers and some steals. There's other middle infielders out there. Like, it's deeper than it used to be.
Yeah. It doesn't feel...
It's kind of like, if you need him, I guess.
Sort of projecting him out, what he'll do this year, it doesn't seem like it's going to be that great.
I mean, just looking at the waiver wire from a few weeks ago, guys that were out there who probably picked up now, like when we talked about Dansby Swanson and Jorge Polanco, guys that were just sitting out there.
Yeah.
And I mean, do you think Senzel's going to outproduce like those guys? And
I mean, maybe they already had their hot streak, and now.
But yeah, I mean,
comes up in the good part.
But I like a guy in the minors who's got like some number that really moves the needle. You know? But
yeah, it's a little.
he's a top
everything.
prospect though.
That's just it. So yeah, I mean, so kind of a lukewarm. Yeah, pick him up. But he's definitely one of those you feel cool when you pick him up.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Cool. His stats will count double, if not.
Well, do you?
Not triple.
Okay, do you ever prescribe to the theory of don't pick him up unless you can, like, you're gonna play him?
It depends. On
the league,
bench.
right?
I mean, I picked up Carter Kaiboom last week.
Yeah, there you go. Same type of dude.
Like what's he gonna
We
do?
were even less enthusiastic about him.
Yeah, and
because
then I
of
got
age
him on
and
waivers,
everything.
and I was like,
now what am I gonna do?
You know, now I'm gonna hold him because now I'm not
you got to
gonna
keep him
drop
off someone else's
And he hit a couple dingers, but
yeah. All right, let's go to his. We just mentioned him, Jesse Winker. He's about 52% owned, so deeper leagues, I'm sure he's already been picked up. Shallower leagues, he might be out there. His big thing is he's absolutely killing righties. Hits third or fourth, I think, against righties. Drops down to like 7th, 8th against lefties. Doesn't do anything against them. Very much a splits guy. Better at home, which isn't surprising for a Reds player. He's been decent on the road, though, too, this year, at least in terms of slugging the ball. Is this guy just, he's having a little hot streak. He's hitting for power.
well, it's interesting. He's got 8 home runs already and 98 plate appearances. He had 7 last year in 334.
Right.
So that's weird.
Suspicious.
But, like we said, guys are hitting, home runs are flying out of parks at like record pace. Everything I've read about him and seen about, like, he's a massive OBP guy, and his OBP is not even that
It's 311.
great right now. So you're like, well, if he can keep hitting for power and he does what he used to do, then he'll be all, good park, right?
Right. It's weird looking at his numbers this year because his walks are way down. And his Ks they're slightly up, but it's still pretty low Ks, in this day and age. So, yeah.
Most he ever hit was 16 homers in the minors.
Right. Yeah, there's definitely something here that doesn't totally make sense with him.
Kemp's not going to be out forever.
Right.
Schebler's still going to get playing time. If Senzel comes up, it's another one like, he's kind of hot right now if you need him, but...
So he's 25, good age, good breakout age, 6'3", 215. Good profile.
Keep him, hold him, play him while he's doing all right.
Obviously, he's going to face more righties than lefties.
Yeah, I just think there's a lot of guys on the Reds that are going to get mix and match. So if he gets cold, he's not going to play, right?
Yeah, I think I like him a little more than you, but it's I don't know if the power, how legit that is, but maybe he's just, developed into it again. He was always young for his level. So I think another guy I think's worth a pickup, but better in daily transaction leagues if you can bench him against lefties, and if you grab him in a weekly league, definitely look ahead at those pitching matchups if he's got a lefty heavy week. All right,
And at home.
Well, yeah, ideally. Yeah, we're really putting him in a corner now at home against righties. But I think he can be a little more than that. I think if he's facing a righty anywhere, I don't mind him. All right, another young guy, Luis Urias, Padres, second base, middle infield, second base, shortstop. Fernando Tatis Jr. out.
Well, also, Ian Kinsler's done.
Okay. Oh, you're just calling it.
Well,
just bus
I think
boy.
if Tatis didn't get hurt, I think this guy was coming up soon probably anyway, and Kinsler was going to be phased out.
So you're just bus boying him then.
Yeah, I'm clean. I'm taking
food off.
He was. Let's be honest. He was done last year in the playoffs for the Red Sox.
I don't like you going after a Mizzou guy like this.
Well, it's not like he hasn't had a good career. Like, Kinsler was awesome.
He said we still have Max Scherzer.
And now he's done.
All right, so Urias.
Hey, have you seen your Mizzou post-game baseball interviews?
What do you mean?
I saw it on Twitter somewhere. So when they interview the guy, star of the game, a bunch of other guys perform like a skit behind him.
Oh, really?
So they had one where it was a full-scale boxing match. The players had gloves on.
Yeah.
They had a referee. They had a ring card guy with the round walk by.
Seems a little much.
Then there was the other one was funnier, and I'm totally blanking.
I feel like they should be working on infield.
Oh, they had another one where they knighted a guy behind him.
All right.
They had him down. They had a towel for the cloak.
Right.
They had a bat as the sword. Full
Sounds like a lot of effort.
You better win. I don't know if they're good or not, but you better be really good if you have props and you're planning this stuff.
Yeah, but you're losing a lot.
But you have to assume you're going to win and get that post-game interview, and you can put some time into this. Anyway,
all right.
Big Mizzou guy. I mean, I can't believe
I didn't even know that. Yeah, thanks for enlightening me. All right, so Urias was.
Maybe we'll post a link to one of those videos in the
we're not
the article. No,
that's a lot of effort. All right, so
Urias.
This is a guy who 12 games last year did nothing. 11 games this year did less than nothing.
I was way more excited about him before I went to his Fangraphs page.
Well, but then you look at the AAA numbers. He has an 891 slugging, 435 OBP, 364 average.
This year?
Yeah, this year.
Yeah. What about his career, though?
Well, it's fine.
I mean, he's never hit more than 10 home runs or his max in steals.
He's 21. But you know how young he's been for every level?
Never more than 10 homers, never more than 10 steals.
When you're that young, that's not a shock.
All right, but can I tell you a little something about his 891 slugging percentage this year?
Please do.
And his 7 dingers?
Yeah.
5 of them were in one weekend in Las Vegas.
Okay. That inflates the numbers.
A little bit.
I like the fact he can stay focused when he's in Vegas, though, as a 21-year-old.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, I like Uriah. I do. I like him. But I went and started looking at numbers, and I liked him a little bit less.
Yeah, I don't think you're factoring in how young he is and how once the breakout starts, it's just going to kind of start.
Okay.
But opposite of the Reds guys, right? Bad park.
Okay.
Offense, that's okay. They're not bad, but they're not great. I still don't think they're great. Maybe that's just because of the park. And I'd like a little more speed from a middle infielder.
Yeah.
Who might not hit a lot of homers yet.
Yeah. Max stolen bases is 10 in 2014.
And I don't think that's going to go up a ton. So I'm sort of cold on him. I think the minor league numbers will probably get people excited, and people will probably rush to pick him up. But I'm not. You know, his transaction rate was really high on Yahoo. Kind of surprised me.
Because I feel like the updates I read about him, like he's got this cool factor.
Yeah.
But then when you dig a little bit, you're like,
it's a little disappointing. And I mean, Tatis is going to come back.
But I will say, I don't think that matters. Like, I do think in the end, Kinsler will be out of a job or bench. I do think this guy is going to play when all's said and done.
Yeah. He might just be a guy you grab if and when he's hot. Use them for a little bit. All right, another recent call-up. I guess, this guy actually has recently been called up. Nate Lowe. We're assuming he's low.
He's got to be low, right?
He's not loud. They don't have to.
I mean, wow.
All right, so first baseman for the Rays. Ton of power in the minors. You got to like that since that's the only thing you look at.
I feel like I'm playing devil's advocate with you today.
Okay.
Because I see that big 27 in 2018.
Sure.
But then I look, and he had 7 in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going on?
Another young guy, right?
Changed approach. What's his deal?
Right. So he had 17 in 115 games. Then they got 27 in 2018 across all 3 levels. And this year he already had 3 in the minors. Just got called up. Yeah, I mean, I think part of it's age, part of it's developing. Maybe they worked with him, got that launch angle up, all that good stuff that we like to hear about. But he was always a good hitter. Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at those numbers down the line. I mean, really the only stop in the minors that doesn't jump out was his first taste of AAA in 2018. He still slugged 460. Mm-hmm. But most other years, he's right around.
Yeah, I think Duke can hit.
At least an OBP, that's pretty high. I guess his high A, he wasn't great slugging in average, but he still had a 355 OBP. I mean, he takes walks. He's always going to do that.
How do you feel about playing time for him in Tampa? They got a lot of dudes.
Scares me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. It's weird.
Were you surprised they called him up to begin with?
Because I was like, oh, did I miss a Choi injury or a Diaz injury? No. It's like Diaz is just third baseman now.
Well, he plays a little.
Well, no, I know, but I mean, it's like not a weird thing for him to be at third. It's like, yeah, no, he's our third, a third baseman who plays elsewhere, which I don't think going into the year we thought was necessarily going to be the case.
Right.
The outfield, DH rotation. I mean, the big thing is Meadows being hurt, right? That opens up a spot. Mm-hmm. So he's supposed to be back, I think, in a few weeks. Is that, especially if Lowe's not hitting that great, is he just back to the minors?
Tampa's weird.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he's up. So
right. So I think to me,
stay down. I don't know.
To me, he's a must pick up. I think that power potential, that team, they're obviously a good offense. They're playing well. I like them.
Cool. Pick him up.
Yeah. You don't see him as quite as high though.
No, I just power guy. Mm-hmm. I guess at least on my waiver wire, there's some other random kind of power guys out there. That's like. But no, he looks like he's a good hitter.
Right. Counts double, though.
Pretty decent lineup, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing things in Tampa.
I feel like we don't want to admit it, but they are good.
No, they're doing things in Tampa. Yeah. I mean, as a Red Sox fan, I'm a little nervous about our division.
You should, but you guys just called in the cavalry in the form of Michael Chavis.
Mm-hmm.
Second base, third base. Mm-hmm. Another guy, good power, takes a ton of walks, but does he have an everyday lineup spot?
Well, it's funny. He does right now because he's hitting, and the Red Sox are terrible, and they need all the hitting they can get. It's funny if he can play second. He threw the ball into the stands the other night, practically turning a double play.
Rafael Devers does that all the time at third. So
yeah, well, I noticed you have here on the notes about Devers is hot. Devers isn't going anywhere.
Well, no.
To me, where Chavis is going to play, if he can't have second, if for some reason Pedroia comes back and plays 4 days, and the New Year's thing I don't think matters.
Right.
It's Pedroia playing 4 days a week or not, right? I think Chavis has got an opening at first. I mean, Moreland's been good, but he's definitely got the other side of platoon. Pierce has been terrible.
Yeah, and Pierce is really
as much as he was the World Series MVP last year, I don't think they owe him anything if Chavis can hit. Mm-hmm. They're an under 500 baseball team right now with expectations.
Right.
They got to play guys who can hit.
So Chavis is an example of a guy. He's 22, a guy even at a young age was hitting homers in the minors.
And he got popped for PEDs, but since then he's been okay. And he was a first or second round pick, I think.
Yeah. How about this though for sort of weird stats that jump out from a minor league profile? 2016 high A, he stole 18 bases. That's Devers, sorry. Oh, I was looking at Devers this whole time. He's not 22. Devers is 22. He's got no homers.
Yeah. It's weird,
it's funny you say he's hot. But Chavis is 23.
It is funny that you say he's hot, but he has been hot. I think he's up to 300 or close to it, and his exit velocity is the same as it was. So.
No, he's barreling up. So Chavis is a year older, but again, still young at every level. Popped 31 homers in 2017.
It's probably when he got popped for PEDs.
It probably is because he hasn't, Well,
in 18, he only played like 40 games.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, he hit 6 and 33 at AA. Like, he's still hitting them. This year, he's already got 7 between the majors and minors, 22 games. I mean, it's pretty clear what this guy does. And, the walks aren't great, but so far this year between majors and minors, they've been off the charts.
Yeah, it's one of those deals where I think the Red Sox are 100% going to play him while he hits. I don't know how cold they'll let him get, but I think they won't care about his second.
So to me, he's another guy you pick up. I mean,
and there's a gaping hole at second.
Yeah, and he's hitting a little bit lower in the lineup right now, but still, I mean, that's fine on that team.
He's hitting 5th today.
Oh, so he is moving up. So
one for one today. Live updates.
Gosh, that's so timely. All right.
Well, Bogart's out of the lineup, so yeah.
Yeah. So he's an interesting one. We're going to skip over the next guy on the list to do the next young guy first. That's Griffin, I'm assuming it's Canning. I watched most of his start last night, but it was on mute. I don't know what else it would be. It could
You got to
be
stop
Canning.
doing that.
Well, there's other things.
I do it too. It's like you start to lose, like young players come up.
Yeah.
And
because I assume it's Canning, but it could be Canning for all I know.
Young players come up, and if you're not listening to the games,
Yeah.
you don't
Let's just call him Griff.
Griff.
Yeah, so old Griff, pitcher for the Angels there. This was a guy who was, he only made 3 starts, I think, but was killing it in the minors this year. Obviously a good prospect.
He was killing the first 3 innings last night, too.
I know, because, I had him in it was a free FanDuel contest, so I didn't care that much, but I grabbed him just because I thought, why not? And I was like, wow, this is going to look great. And then all of a sudden, little trouble.
The old second or third time through the lineup.
Yeah, and had a wild pitch. Wasn't afraid to throw the breaking stuff, though, even with the bases loaded. So
whole Griff?
Yeah, and then it sort of came undone, so the final stats didn't look great, but struck out a lot, didn't walk a ton.
I mean, good park, terrible offense.
Pretty good. Yeah, you hate that offense.
Well, I have Trout, so yeah, I hate that offense.
Yeah, I don't blame you. But, throws hard, not a surprise. I don't know. I think he's a guy. I mean, we always talk about this with pitchers who come up. Like, can you trust them? Can you ever trust them?
You can trust them in spurts. You can
count out all matchups.
You can count out their starts. You can hope they don't get shut down when you know they will.
Right. But it's just, it feels like it's all matchups, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't, this is a guy, if you want to go pick him up, deep league, sure. Shallow league,
Yeah, I mean, throw him in for shallow league, throw him in the same streaming conversation as anyone else.
Yeah.
Deeper leagues, keeper leagues, yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right, another young guy, outfielder. You want to talk about him, Alex Verdugo, with the Dodgers?
Yeah, he's been hitting well in sporadic playing time. He's one of their, if not their top prospect. But, couldn't get in the lineup. Dodgers have a lot of guys, too. But now we've got A.J. Pollock going for an going for an exploratory procedure in his elbow. Never good. He's an injury-prone guy to begin with. Looks like Verdugo is going to play probably every day, at least against righties, for a little bit while he keeps hitting. Another guy, like minor league stats, like pretty good, nothing amazing.
Really young though. Again,
hits close to 300. He's got his double-digit dingers. Doesn't really run.
Yeah, the fact he was doing what he did in his teens and early 20s. I mean, he's 22 now. Is really impressive.
I mean, he's got 4 homers and 72 at bats already.
The other thing, look, it's a 12 plate appearance sample size, so it doesn't mean a ton, but he's been killing lefties at the majors. Again. Very, very small sample, almost insignificant, but hey.
Well, the Dodgers love to platoon. That's the only thing. They love to mix and match, but I wanted to pick this guy up, a week or two ago. He just wasn't playing enough. And now Pollock, I don't know, is Pollock out a month?
Yeah.
Maybe more?
Could be out the rest of the season for all we know.
So I think out of all the guys we talked about on this list, this would be my number one guy.
Yeah, he's got to be up there. He has to be. I mean, I like Lowe. I like Chavis too, but I mean, Verdugo's if
Chavis gives you
really
second
good
base
hitter,
and he plays all the time, you need that. I think that's some pretty good power at second. But
that's the thing, though, with Verdugo, right? He's an outfielder.
Yeah, he goes in the mix with a lot of guys.
Yeah, so that makes it tougher. All right, let's talk about a veteran who's still owned in like 60% of leagues, but we have a feeling he's getting dropped a lot, or at least he was before the last 2 days. That's Jesus Aguilar, a guy I think we both liked before the season started.
Well, not if you go back to our podcast, Bess.
Well, no, but I think you bet against him compared to, who was it?
Abreu, I think.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I know there was a Devers.
You had Abreu versus my Devers.
Yeah.
And then,
which I'm killing right now. But then I
took Abreu against your Aguilar.
Oh, yeah, that might have been it. For homers, for homers. Yeah. But,
he's all right. I didn't love him before the season just because it's a whole fluky where this guy come from. He hit 1 million homers. Right. He's going to do it again.
So he took until April 29th to hit his first homer of the year. And then pop 2.
And you always like that. You like the way they follow it up with another one.
And then he hits one the next day, too. So,
and he's proven he can get hot.
Yeah.
He's pretty much
I guess
hot
the question is, obviously, if you were on the fence with him about dropping him, then he hits 3 homers in 2 days. He's safe.
Right.
If he is on your waiver wire, if someone did get impatient and drop him, it's not even really impatient. I don't blame anyone for dropping a guy after a month of not doing anything. But, if he's still there, and he probably got snapped up right away, but if he is he like, okay, put it this way, did he just have 2 good games? And he's really not that good, and for all we know, he's going to get benched soon because the Brewers have options? Or is it like, okay, he's right in the ship, you definitely want him on your team?
I think he's more than worth a lot of
Having.
pickup. I mean, without a doubt,
Right.
he's done more, most likely, than anyone on your waiver wire. Like,
Well, he's had one good year.
right, but that one good year is probably better than anyone's one good year on the waiver wire, right? That isn't like an older guy or whatever.
Right.
But he's certainly worth pickup if he's out there, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if he wrote the ship or not, but...
Yeah, he'd probably be in a 179 BABIP. Like, that's going to come up. That's a lot of bad luck. Maybe he's just hitting the ball more weakly. I mean, he's not hitting it over the fence either until these last couple days. Yeah, I mean, it is a guy I feel like you have to pick up, good offense, etc. But I don't know. I haven't liked what I've seen from him, and I'm kind of out. And I think it might just be a waste of a roster spot.
He hit 1 home run in 52 plate appearances last April.
Yeah.
And then he popped 8 off in May.
So you're saying it's
No.
not an April guy?
No, I mean, he was playing sporadically. I don't think he had the job then, so who knows. But, some guys do have bad Aprils.
Yeah. Just got to work themselves into shape.
I'd certainly take a shot on him.
All right. Yeah. To me, he's on the line, but again, if you're gonna pick up Nate Lowe, you might as well pick up Jesus Aguilar, right?
Well, yeah, you pick up Aguilar before Nate Lowe.
Why?
I do.
Just because he's already had a good year?
Yeah, because the young guy's stats don't count double, Matt.
I know they don't count double, but what if he just does more? What if they count single and he has more of them? Which he could.
That's an odd way of looking at it.
Yeah, what if though? Do you ever think about it that way? I'm just saying.
I haven't.
This should be an in-season bet. Who's going to hit more homers from here on out? From May 1st on.
I'll gladly take
Nate
Aguilar.
Lowe versus Jesus Aguilar.
I'll gladly take Aguilar.
I think I'd win it though.
It'll hedge my other non-Aguilar bet.
I kind of think I'd win it.
I mean, am I writing this down?
No.
Yeah.
I think I'd win though.
You wouldn't win.
I probably would win.
You wouldn't win.
I should do it.
You
All
wouldn't
right.
win. You want to do a Verdugo? I'll take Verdugo against someone. You want to take Verdugo against your boy Winker or Senzel?
Gotta get them both. I get a Reds twofer.
What do you want from? You want?
I don't know. How about?
Let me take. How about I get Chavis and Verdugo, and you get the Reds. I don't know what we're betting on.
I want Nate Lowe though. All right.
Well, if you want Nate Lowe,
Enough of this tomfoolery. Let's get into some stats. And the stat we want to look at right now. So we got about a month and change worth of sample here. So still not gospel by any means, but it's something. I think once we get a full month,
that's all we got.
It's all we got.
That's all
That's
we
true.
got,
I mean,
right?
we can start trying to bring in last
So you
year.
can wait till you have a 6-month sample before the season's over. So.
And even 6 months in the grand scheme of things, not that much. But, the teams get reputations of, hey, this is a good team or a bad team, good offense, bad offense, whatever. But the fact of the matter is, teams can have a big difference between righties and lefties for whatever reason, just to make up of the order, how many of right-handed and left-handed hitters they have, and et cetera. So we wanted to look at the teams with the biggest difference in their splits against right-handed pitchers and left-handed pitchers. And I think when we wrote this down, I was going by weighted runs created plus, and it was from yesterday. So there's been a game since, and maybe several more games by the time people listen to this in between. But the biggest difference was the Rangers. They were first against righties and 25th against lefties. I mean, that's huge.
Right. Off the top of my head?
Yeah.
I mean, not necessarily when I looked at them, I looked at OPSs, and I just looked at top 10s versus and bottom 10s.
Yeah.
This makes sense. I mean, they don't have to be the best team against righties.
Right.
But I think they're going to, they're a good team against righties, and they're going to be a bad team against lefties. You look at their best hitters, Chu, Odor. I don't know if Odor's really one of the best hitters.
Well, Andy's been hurt, but yeah.
Mazzara and Gallo, they're all
But he should be one of their best power hitters.
Right.
Yeah.
They're all from the left side.
Yeah.
So they should hit righties well, and they're probably going to struggle against lefties.
Yeah.
Although Gallo's actually been okay against lefties. But
Gallo's had a weird year.
yeah. So, I mean, to me, this makes sense. This trend probably continues to some degree. Start your pitchers according. I mean, we're looking at this for streamers, basically, right?
Right.
And just your pitching matchups to begin with. To me, this is
and for DFS. I think for DFS, this stuff comes into play.
Now, I don't know what you're asking with these. Like, are we asking if it's for real or?
We're not asking. We're just letting people know.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is something I think a lot of people, the general fantasy, casual fantasy, isn't. They're not going this
right.
deep.
I think so. I would say that after a month, this makes sense to me, and will probably continue to some degree.
Right, and another big split: the Cardinals, third versus righties, 18th versus lefties. Okay. Now that one, you go, well, isn't their best hitter, a lefty killer, and Paul Goldschmidt? They got plenty of good righties, but DeYoung, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Jose Martinez.
Ozuna?
Yeah, Ozuna.
And this one I don't.
This feels fluky.
This one I don't think sticks. I think
because they got Wong, Carpenter.
Yeah, I mean, I really only have Wong and Carpenter as lefties that would either. I mean, Carpenter's not coming out of the line.
But Molina, another righty, typically.
Bader's a righty.
Bader's a righty.
So I don't see this one
this is weird.
Holding up. I think it'll even out. I think they'll probably hit lefties better.
But they might stay the same against righties.
They could.
So they just might be one of the best offenses in baseball.
Yeah. I hate that about the Cardinals.
Yeah,
I really do.
But their fans appreciate it. I bet all their fans know these splits.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure.
They just clap at everything they do.
Their fans probably want to be just 10th in the league against both. Mm-hmm. They just want to be solid against both. No holes, consistent.
Right. They probably want to lead the league in infield hits, too. I don't know why.
No, they want to lead the league in taking first to third.
Oh, for sure that.
Sack flies.
Best base running war in the league. All right, another one. This team's not great against lefties. They're 12th, but they're 24th against righties. That's the Tigers. And they were a team I remember in DFS, they were facing a pitcher who gets really killed by lefties. And I was like, I'm going to get some Tigers lefties. They don't have any. Mm-hmm. I had to get Nico Goodrum, who is a switch hitter. And then I think they have one more. I can't even think who it is off the top of my head, but they're just a team of righties.
Yeah, they're also not really a good team. So I don't know if that 12 first lefties holds up.
But it's still something. They're better.
You're starting to get in the middle of the league there.
Yeah.
There's a big difference in 12th and 24th, but I don't think that makes them good at hitting lefties. But
again, it's sort of the DFS thing where if you're okay, my pitcher, the Tigers suck. I want to get a pitcher against them. It's like the Giants.
Maybe not if you're throwing a lefty.
Like the Giants, the Marlins, they're bad across the board.
Right.
And the Indians have been this year. The Rockies actually have been this year. So you just see depending where they're playing, you say, okay.
So you pause for a second if you're throwing a lefty.
But you at least pause when it's a lefty against the Tigers.
Well, actually,
Castellanos kills them.
It's funny. Last week, I pitched Rodon against them.
Right.
And he'd been pitching pretty well.
Yeah, and Miggy killed him.
He got smoked. 3 innings, 8 runs.
Because
what?
They have.
I wish you would have brought this to the table last week.
I'm sorry.
On the podcast you didn't have.
That's right. You wouldn't have listened. Castellanos was the best hitter in baseball.
I had a couple of 10-year-old boys listen to my podcast.
Right, careful with that.
I was promoting this podcast.
Might want to phrase.
All right.
I don't say I have a couple 10-year-old boys.
Well, I had one might be older than 10. Actually, neither is 10. I think one was probably 12.
You're making it worse.
6. I think I was just averaging them.
Yeah, that's worse. All right. So Castellanos, best hitter against lefties last year. They have James McCann, who typically hits Miggy, even though he's aging, he still hits lefties. They got one more guy too.
Castellanos.
That's what I said first.
Well, Christian Stewart is a lefty. Or he's at least a switch, right? I don't even know.
Yeah, but they have one more hitter who really hits lefties well.
Candelario?
I can't think of that. Yeah, he kills lefties. Old Heimer. So they're an interesting team for that, but you're right. You look at their offense, no names really stand out anymore.
Yeah, Christian Stewart's a lefty.
Okay, so there's one. But yeah, so then a team I know you discovered.
Kristen Stewart and Christian Walker confused.
Kind of.
It's not cool that they're both first year kind of contributors.
Right.
And yeah.
And isn't Kristen Stewart the Twilight gal?
Kristen, yeah. Yeah. God.
That's really confusing.
Because I know that's what you're spending your time doing.
Well, no.
Spelled differently, though.
Yeah, it's spelled differently, but it's just when you're so similar as they are. It's tough. All right, this was the one you were all excited about. Your
I
A's.
had a nice little nugget for this one.
Yeah, what do you got? Well, the Oakland A's.
You got the A's. You have them 7th versus left-handed pitching.
Yeah.
20th versus right-handed pitching.
Yeah.
OPS, they're actually 8th against lefties and 23rd against righties. So even worse, I guess, against righties.
Yeah.
So with Olsen out, they actually don't bat a true left-handed hitter.
Right.
It's all righties and switches.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I mean, Olsen, I think, is due back pretty soon.
Coming up.
But, I think Oakland's one of those teams where I probably pitch my pitchers against, but you're like, they do have Chris Davis and they pop some dingers, but then I'm like, maybe I shouldn't be. I mean, Porcello shut him down last night. Best start of the year, 2 hits. And
I'm in a pattern right now where I'm chasing Chris Davis homers,
right?
Because he hasn't hit one in a while, and so I was starting him against lefties all the time in DFS, and then I was like, okay, he's not hitting them yet. You know what? Porcello, he's getting killed by lefties this year, but Davis can pop up, dude. Monster, come on, that's like 240 feet from home plate, and
at most.
And now Porcello 8 shutout. What'd he go?
8 shutout, 2 hits.
What's going on?
Red Sox are heating up.
I'm killing the A's, man.
No, that doesn't mean like go run out and start your righties against them, but I don't know. Maybe it does a little bit while Olsen's out.
Yeah, they're not that scary. Like, and at the very least, a hit for low. I think they're a very boomer busty team, right? Like, they can just pop homers, and you'll be really upset. But
I mean, so far, Hector Velasquez and Marcus Walden have gone through 4 against Oakland. They've only given up 3 hits in a run.
There you go.
Those aren't exactly good righties.
No, they're not. All right. Diamondbacks, 6th versus lefties, 17th versus righties. That they might be more about whether they're playing home or road, but clearly they hit lefties better. And that's, David Peralta's been okay against lefties this year.
He hits lefties.
Yeah, which has been a big thing.
Christian Walker is a righty.
Well, he's a righty, yeah. And they got some good ones there. So
Marte's a switch, right?
I think so. So they're a team definitely scary against lefties. I don't really want to pitch my lefty again in DFS, sort of those mediocre guys.
Adam Jones.
Yeah, he was leading off the other day. He's doing okay. All right, Nationals 5th versus lefties, 18th versus righties. I think that's a team, and maybe that's surprising. You think Soto is, if you think Soto's their best player, but they have a bunch, like, they're old, so I think he can go under the radar. But Zimmerman, Dozier, and Yan Gomes all kill lefties or have throughout their careers.
It's not all Dozier's killing these days.
What's that?
It's not all Dozier's killing these days.
He had a little stretch.
Actually, Howie Kendrick too.
Kendrick, Rendon.
Well. Yeah.
I mean, so they got, and the other big thing about that, Soto, very good lefty splits throughout his young career. His slugging against lefties and righties is almost equal, which, for a player that young to be that, for a left-handed batter to be that good against left-handed pitching this young really speaks a lot to how good he is. And the Mets, 3rd versus lefties, which seems weird. And 16th versus righties.
Yeah, they shouldn't be 3rd, I feel like.
In anything. But it's like, okay, Alonso, right? Yeah. He's been killing it. They got some other like Juan Lagares hits lefties really well. They used to have Flores too. They don't have him. D-backs have Flores. He hit his first dinger the other night.
Off my pitcher.
Yeah.
I feel like the Mets one might even out, but they're not. They're not going to be the 3rd best team against lefties.
No, it does seem weird, especially when you go Conforto, Cano, Nimmo, all lefties.
Yeah, that's going to be.
Ramos kills lefties. I know he's on the Mets now. I learned that 2 weeks ago. And
did you learn about Wilson Contreras' steal last week to even up our little catcher steals back?
I know, the Wilsons versus the Austins.
And he got caught stealing. He was trying to run wild.
Yeah, the Wilsons versus the Austins.
Barn burner.
It is. It's a big one. All right. So those are the stats. It's something we'll update from time to time. It's always important to look at that, though, especially in DFS when you're trying to pick that pitcher, because not all offenses are the same.
And I would also say it's a super easy stat or step to do before you do something.
Yeah,
it's
if you're picking a streamer.
It's a quick split versus lefties, right? It's the epitome of lazy analysis, so I love it.
And you can do, if you want to get into it, you do the home road too.
Yeah.
And then, you can really start going nuts, but all good things to look at. All right, speaking of streamers, we got weekend streamers. And
I feel like we should pause for some sort of theme song to that. Some sort of 80s sitcom type.
Weekend streamer. Starring Bronson Pinchot. All right. So Friday, kick it off. I got 2 I kind of like. Gerard. I call him Gerard just because of how it's spelled. Jared Eichhoff. J-Rad. Phillies versus Nationals. Okay. We already mentioned how the Nats aren't great against righties.
Right, good segue.
And I have typically low walk rate. It's a little higher this year. He's pitched well, and that's even up higher than usual. So he was a guy that in the past has really shown flashes and then can't quite keep it all together. But I think in this start, I kind of like him.
Let me ask you this. Is he more than a streamer? Is he
might
a potential hold?
Absolutely.
Good lineup behind him.
He might be. He might be. And then the next guy, I was shocked his ownership percentage was so low.
Well, and like how well he's kind of pitching.
He's been great.
Yeah.
I think he had one bad start in there, but Sonny Gray.
Yeah.
52% owned in Yahoo, 29 in ESPN, which I don't understand.
ESPN's standard league, I think, is 10 teams.
Okay.
So I bet their numbers are probably
Maybe. That would make sense.
lower.
But he's facing the Giants. He's at home, but still, Giants, one of the worst offenses in the league.
They're still in the league? They haven't been relegated yet?
Man, that's just a team. You look at that lineup.
If I have to read like
never
one
get
more,
worried.
like Steven Duggar, freaking Roto World Nugget, like, dude, I get it. Like, there's no one else to update, but I don't need to ever read his nuggets.
We really don't. But they're really bad, and Gray's been really good. I mean, he's a hold as far as I'm concerned, all the way.
Yeah.
And then you added.
This is mine. I mean, this guy's not great, but I like Brett Anderson against at the Pirates, who's going over the NL. Pretty good park, and Pittsburgh is 29th in OPS versus lefties. He's like 50-50 every start.
Yeah.
It's like he goes about 6 and gives up 3 runs. You know what I mean? There's a couple of bad ones in there, but I think looking for 6 innings, 2 runs from him,
right?
It's doable.
No, he's like some of these, like you said, some we look at and we're like, hey, this guy could be a keeper, and others, you know, it's just kind of like,
Yeah, I'm not keeping Brett Anderson around
if you really feel the need to stream,
right?
This is a good chance to take with the caveat,
especially if you want to go weekend.
It's
streaming.
a risk.
If you want to go weekend streaming.
When I weekend stream, all right. Here's another guy who I think is a keeper. Another guy, the same split as Sonny Gray, 52-29, Yahoo ownership to ESPN ownership. Mike Soroka, Braves, at the Marlins. You know, he's a top prospect, young. The Marlins are one of those offenses. They're as bad as it gets. They have the highest K rate against righties.
Sent our boy Louis Brinson down. Offense probably improves.
I got to tell you, man, I got tricked by the spring and
I started
the launch angles.
I was like, hey man, you see what this guy's doing in the spring?
Change the launch angle, man.
Yeah.
I bought into it, and nope. But anyway, I think this is a good opportunity to, you know, if he's available in your league, grab him, hold him. He's going to have a good start, and you might get a really, really nice season out of him. Mm-hmm. And then Trevor Williams, he's kind of like Brett Anderson.
He's been better, and no one owns him.
So he's a classic. The K rate's not that high.
But every game I see him start or read the box score after,
solid. So there's pitchers like this every year, right? Where like Kyle Hendricks used to be kind of like this. And even going back further, Tim Hudson was like this, where the advanced stats are always worse than the standard and the K rate's not that high and people are just like boring. There's so many strikeout nowadays. Why would I want to mess with a guy with a sub 7K per 9? But
I don't know, because the strikeout guys give up dingers.
Well, yeah, and it's just like he's pretty good.
Right.
He gives you a good shot at a win. He pitches at a good park, and he's facing. This is where we bring our splits from last segment into place. Facing the A's, who aren't great against righties. He's about 50% owned, so he might not be available in deeper leagues. But he doesn't give up homers. He doesn't walk guys. He's been great at home throughout his entire career. I mean, that's the kind of guy I would target if I'm looking for a weekend. If I'm going to weekend streaming, that's what I want.
What do you usually wear when you go weekend streaming?
Oh, Bermuda shorts. Got to.
You don't wear like khakis, no socks, and some flip flops.
I mean, I never wear socks, and I'm not a flip flop guy, but
I think
boat shoes.
Boat shoes, khakis.
Time in Bahama, maybe.
Maybe unbutton an extra button on your
you're
shirt.
Not buttoning more than halfway
You're
up.
Going weekend streaming.
Got to get the Oakleys out. You're just having
weekend streaming down in Newport.
You're just having a good day. Get some wine coolers.
The last guy's actually my guy, although I think you picked him too. Tanner Roark. Picking on the Giants again. I mean, why not?
You should.
Yeah. They're 29th OPS versus righties.
Yeah.
They're terrible. Cool. We agree.
That's it. I mean, and another guy like Eichhoff, normally BB rate's pretty low. This year it's high, so I actually think that's going to come back to normal.
Here's the thing. If you're in a quality starts league, I wouldn't start him. He has not gone 6 innings yet.
Right.
He's like a 5 1/3 kind of guy. But on the flip side, out of his 6 starts, in 3 of them, he's only given up 1 run.
Some more valuable in FanDuel is what you're in draft
So
games.
if you're looking for 5 1/3 with 1 run and maybe a win,
I'm always looking for that.
Tanner Roark's your guy.
So I've written about this, and I've written about stuff like this in the past, where it's like if you just find the 3 to 5 worst offenses in baseball,
and
just start guys against them, it's gonna come out to like a 3.2 ERA, 1.18 WHIP. Like, I mean, statistically.
Right. I mean, it's the same thing we do in football, right? We don't start team defenses always because they're really good.
No, in fact, often we don't. And tight ends, for that matter.
Yeah.
I don't always. I just go, hey, well, who gives up a lot of fantasy points to tight ends? It's the same thing. You can basically start. Now, look, yeah, you don't want to start total dog crap guys. And, maybe this is a situation where it's in a hitter's park in Cincinnati, so you're a little more leery, but nah. Not worried about the Giants ever. I'm not worried about the Marlins ever.
I'm only worried about them when Bumgarner's pitching.
Right. See,
because he's hitting.
Right. Now of course, that logic. Now the Indians are really bad against both lefties and righties, and I don't totally buy it because they didn't have Lindor. Jose Ramirez has been really bad.
That's not going to last. But on the flip side, Carlos Santana is still hitting like out of his mind.
Right. So but like maybe I should buy into that and just be like, wow, the Indians aren't that good.
It's really cold in Cleveland in April.
Okay. That's maybe part of it. Has every game been played there?
Yeah, they have 30 home
You're
games
right.
this
I haven't
month.
checked. But then of course the Rockies, I don't trust those numbers, especially in Colorado.
And they're getting healthy.
And they had all their lefties up, but they weren't hitting lefties either.
Yeah.
So anyway, a couple of the Sundays. This one, these are kind of stretches.
I'm not streaming on Sunday. Just
okay, you don't do Sunday streaming?
That's probably when I'm going to be driving home.
No Sunday streaming.
I get out for the weekend streaming on Friday and Saturday.
Well, Sunday's a rest day.
Then I like to pack up and head home.
No, absolutely. Get the cooler, pack it up. But if you are Sunday streaming, Spencer Turnbull, Tigers versus Royals. So this is a weird guy whose numbers are good, and he's young.
Yeah.
And I want to be excited.
He shut down Philly last night.
He did. I want to be more excited about him, but then
you remember
the minor league
Spencer Turnbull.
It's kind of a cool name. You have bull in your name, but the minor league numbers aren't anything that special. This year, the advanced numbers aren't that great. That K rate's decent, but not great. It just feels like, this guy had a decent first month and now is about to get hit, but I don't know. He keeps pitching well. And the Royals have actually been better offensively than I think a lot of people thought they were going to be.
Because they make things happen.
They do. I mean, they kind of do. They're pretty much league average, I think, against both righties and lefties. They might be a little higher against lefties, if I recall correctly. I don't know, though. If you really feel the need, you need that guy on
this was a
Sunday.
bit of a reach.
It's a reach. But he's got like a 2.4 ERA, so a lot of people
he'd be the ace of my staff.
Yeah, exactly. And then another guy on Sunday who I like.
I wish Noah Syndergaard could have a sub-3 ERA.
Sub-5, right? Zach Eflin.
Yep.
Phillies against the Nats. Same thing again about the righties with the Nationals. He's been way better at home throughout his entire career. He's a pretty good pitcher. I mean, we talked about him before the year as a sleeper. So he's another possible hold.
Yeah, scares me a little bit to stream against the Nats, but I guess Rendon will be out this weekend.
Yeah,
he's on the DL now, so there's one guy out of the lineup.
Yeah, but again,
like I said,
righty.
I'm not streaming on Sunday.
Nah, you gotta take it easy on Sunday.
I gotta take it easy.
You gotta take that day off from streaming. All right, let's get into it. Closer talk.
Closer talk time.
Closer corner.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. All right, let's start it up with the Braves.
Okay. What do you got?
I got AJ Minter.
Okay.
Juice Minter.
Juice Minter.
Got blown up.
Yep.
Came in the next day. Save situation in the ninth.
Yep.
Put two guys on.
Okay.
And then hook.
Yep.
Luke Jackson.
That's not a good sign.
Luke Jackson comes in.
Okay.
Then the next day, to be fair, Minter was probably unavailable, but still, save situation. Jacob Webb comes in, gets the save.
Yep.
This feels like a committee. It actually feels like Craig Kimbrell, but we've been saying that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be probably mix and match right now. I think I'd put Jackson ahead of Webb.
Okay.
I think they want it to be Minter, though. I think they want to figure Minter, get figured out.
I agree with that. But
he might have another chance. I wouldn't be shocked if Minter
I wouldn't either.
Chance.
I wouldn't either. But why Jackson ahead of Webb?
Just because I think he'd been pitching
better?
he'd been pitching like the 8th.
Okay.
Right, and Webb was earlier. So.
Okay. All right. So to me, it's committee. So then the question comes to, would you pick up Jackson or Webb?
I wouldn't pick up Webb.
Okay.
Jackson, it depends how much room I have. I mean, I would need to have some empty spots.
I mean, you're chasing saves now.
I am.
So if you're not picking up Luke Jackson, that doesn't say much.
Yeah.
All right.
What about you? I mean, are you picking him up?
Deep league. But you're right. I actually do think Minter will probably get the next chance. But at one more, he's done.
Yeah.
So
I mean, when they get pulled in the middle of an inning like that after outing.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Keep Luke
the next thing
Jackson.
coming will be the vote of confidence.
Yeah, that's always good. And then the phony DL stint. Keep Luke Jackson on the radar at least. Speaking of phony DL stints, I'm going to skip ahead to the Rangers. So they announced right before we came down here to record, Jose Leclerc temporarily removed from the closer's role.
Yep.
He's been really struggling.
I do like when managers go out of their way to say temporarily, though. That makes me feel better than when they're like, we're just going to go with the committee and mix and match.
Well, look, they're a bad team who gave him a big extension this offseason. Like, yeah, they're committed to figuring this out with him. But for the time being, sounds like Sean Kelly is the most likely candidate. He's got a little experience, veteran. He's been pitching well this year.
Yep.
So
he's worth a pickup.
Oh, 100%.
I mean,
he should have been.
When the manager says the closer's not the closer anymore.
I mean, that was one we had in on the site, sportnews.com/fantasy. In the weekly waiver thing, we highlighted him last week as grab him now because this is coming.
Yeah, playing the long game.
Nailed it.
That's what I love about you, man. Always playing that long game.
Always. I mean, you know how we do with closers. What if we can get one by September, we feel we've won. All right, this one, probably the craziest.
Which way? You're like jumping around, so I don't know where you're going.
I'm
This
going
is
back
gonna be surprising to me.
I'm going back up. Look where the cursor is.
Yeah.
The Rays. So going into the year, everyone loved Jose Alvarado. And I was a little hesitant because I was like, Rays do Rays things. I can't.
They are doing all kinds of
This guy's a great pitcher, but I can't count on him to get saves. And if I'm drafting a closer in a saves league, I need saves. So we had him a little lower than most people. He hasn't had a save since April 7th.
It's crazy. And it's not like they're not winning.
And it's not like he's not doing good.
Right.
So on the 28th, he pitched the 8th inning. It was a left, do up. Makes sense, right? Since he's a lefty. I think that was I think it was against the Red Sox. So it was some like Moreland, someone Devers. Anyway, then Castillo comes in, gets the save.
Yep.
Then the day before that, Castillo starts the 8th, gets in a little trouble. Alvarado comes in. He got in a little trouble too. But anyway, they finished out the 8th. Emilio Pagan comes in.
Right. Came out of nowhere.
Gets the save. He's had 3 in a row.
Yeah.
But then on the 27th, he pitched the 7th inning.
Right.
So this seems like just full-on committee.
And last night when, was it Chaz Rowe?
Yeah.
Got in trouble in the
Shucky.
9th, and Castillo, I believe, had already pitched. Alvarado was warming up, but it was a non-save situation.
Right.
So that would lead me to believe that he was coming in. So I think full-blown committee, but like we've said a million times, if they're pitching well, it's okay to not only roster, but start these guys because they're not going to hurt you. If you get the save, you get the save.
All 3 of those guys, Pagan, Castillo, and Alvarado, are pitching well.
They're all pitching well. There's also wins that could go to your closer. There's strikeouts, lower. Like, they're all fine to roster start for now until something shakes out.
What if you were in a league that got points for games started? I mean, would Ryan Stenek have to be the number 1 pick? He starts every other day.
He'd be huge. He'd be huge.
Ryan. What a name. All right.
Ryan Sandberg was Ryan.
I know. But Ryan.
But Stanek?
Stanek. Ryan. All right. Phillies. Looks like old Hector Neris is running away with that job now.
I would say that. I don't know if he should run too far away with it, but he's definitely got it right now.
He's pitching well. That's the bottom line. I think he had a bad appearance a couple appearances ago, but looks like it's him. Dominguez still he's striking guys out, but he's having other problems. But he's pitching 7th, 8th. Nishak's pitching 7th, 8th too. I actually think if something were to happen to Neres, I kind of think it would either be full on committee or it'd be Nishak. But Dominguez doesn't seem like he's quite all there right now.
What's the latest with Robertson's injury?
I mean, I assume he's dead, but I haven't checked lately.
Seems harsh.
Well,
if you're not reading updates, it means he's not really rehabbing and coming back.
Right, let me check. Is he
sock throws yet?
Is he doing dry throws? Cleared to resume throwing when the Phillies return home later this week. That was all the way back on April 22nd.
Sock throws, or are they going to be?
Doesn't say.
They be times he's going to throw for 7 minutes.
It might be in the pool.
Okay.
Might be above ground, below ground.
Okay. Might just be playing catch with his kid.
It's funny. So yeah, April 22nd was that update. It said later this week, and there hasn't been one since.
So that's now. They actually should add. They should add playing catch with your kid as like the first step of a pitcher's rehab.
Yeah.
Right? Just tossed it around with his kid a little bit in the front yard.
Just a little bit.
If it felt good, we'll have him come in.
Yeah. I think they should add that. So anyway, I don't think anyone's worth owning besides Neris at this point. Brewers, we were all over.
Man, I'm waiting for this.
Jeffress
burning a hole
closing.
in my pocket.
No, Hader still
And what was
Holding it.
weird is last night they were in a 4-0 game, right? And I was like, this is probably when they use him like in the ninth, right? He's not quite the closer, but it's kind of
It's technically not a save.
It's not a save, but it's not the lowest level.
We often see closers pitch that.
Right. I was like, I think we might. And Hader had given up some runs the other night, or home run the other night.
He's giving up homers all the time.
I was like, I think this is where we see him.
Yeah.
We didn't even see him.
No, it was Guerrero, right? They tried to bring him out for his third inning.
Yeah.
Or they did bring him out, and then he gave up some base runners.
I'm wondering how his shoulder's feeling.
Well, look at the walks.
I'm just wondering what's going on.
The K's are okay, but he's just walking way too many guys right now. But Hader, that guy gives up a homer all the time.
Yeah, he's starting to do it now. Yeah.
That's why he's still nasty.
I think Memphis is going to do it.
Me too.
So I think we gotta pump the brakes on that one.
Yeah, I guess it's still Hader. They don't have a ton of save situations. They're one of those weird teams.
They score some runs.
Exactly. They either lose or they win by a bunch. All right, Angels. We got Cody Allen on the injured
IL
list.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, fine. I like that. I think it was the Roto World update was like, maybe this explains some of his early season struggles.
No, probably just the fact that he's Cody Allen explains the early season
bad
struggles.
For 2 years. So my guy, the guy I loved in the preseason was old Ty Buttrey, and I really thought would take over. At some point this year as the closer, but it really seems like they like him in a.
I feel like they like him
in an earlier role.
In the earlier role, the higher leverage role, possibly multi-inning role. But when I was a little surprised when I went to look up his game log. He actually really hasn't pitched over an inning in a lot of games.
Yeah.
He's only done an inning and a third. I don't even know if he's done 2 yet.
But he's been coming in like in the fifth
But
inning.
he seems like that guy, right?
I think that's why we think he's a multi-inning guy, because he'll come in the fifth.
Yeah, so I
just
think
as easily as the eighth.
Is it Robles?
Yeah.
Did you say Robles?
Yeah.
He got the save last night.
Right.
He might have even had the save prior to that. I think he's the guy until he's not. And he's actually pitching okay.
I know. Buttrey's nasty, though. Like, his numbers across the board are so good. He hasn't given up a homer yet. I mean, it's only 30 and a third major league innings, but going back to last year. But he hasn't given up a homer. The walk rate's good. The K rate's awesome. This year, he's getting 371 BABIP against him, which is obviously going to come down. He still has a 1.29 ERA and 1.25 FIP. So it just feels like he's the best pitcher.
Yeah, they don't have great starters. And
No.
They have more of a reason to get him earlier in games.
So it is funny, whereas I kind of think Robles is a little better bet for saves, but
he's definitely a better bet for saves.
yeah, I'd want Buttrey too.
Yeah.
I'd own both. I'd play
He
both.
probably got picked up when Allen first went down.
Yeah.
And now, but I think it's Robles if you want saves.
I mean, he's pitching well too. You know, the walk's a little high, but he's striking out almost 11 per 9. Homers are manageable. 3.21 ERA, 2.68
either way,
FIP.
it's his right now.
Yeah, definitely seems that way. And who knows, Cody Allen.
They're going to get him right.
No, I see. Like, that's the kind of guy where even if he gets healthy, I don't know if he'll close. All right, Mariners, a real weird one. You know, we were all on Swarzak, felt good about him, and then kind of for no reason, just Elias started getting some saves.
Well, I have to disagree with you on that.
Okay.
Like, there were reasons, because I have Swarzak, so I pay attention to
Lefty righty stuff?
There was availability stuff, like pitching a third game in a row.
Okay.
There was a game, one of the games, if they were in a dicey spot in the 8th, I guess this goes against me a little bit. Swarzak came in, so then I think they actually scored a couple more runs.
Right.
So then they went, like, I'm not saying Elias didn't get some straight up save ops,
right.
but you could argue there were some reasons against that, and I felt pretty safe saying Swarzak was the guy.
Right.
Then he went and gave up, I think he said 4 straight games giving up a homer.
Yeah. His HR rate is insane. And his walk rate's high too, which is, it was last year as well.
So now at this point, now, I think it's a committee at the moment. But I think they wanted Swarzak to be the 2/3 of the time closer.
Right.
Which I guess could still be a committee, but I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now we got to see when the next save situation comes. I thought we were going to get one last night, but 4 straight games of the dinger is not really good.
Well, and the other thing about him, so the Ks are fine, but he's walking a lot. Obviously, the homers are really high. 143 BABIP, which is way too low. I mean, he's got a 2.89 ERA and a 7.93 FIP. Like, this guy's walking a line, man. I wouldn't feel comfortable with him, but, you know, if you need saves, and you're going to play them. But there's a lot inside the numbers that are really nerve-wracking.
Small samples.
It is. It is. I mean, it's nine and a third innings, but I don't know.
No, I think right now, this second, it's committee for sure. But I don't think it was 3-4 games
but
ago.
just those two in the committee mainly.
Yeah, I don't think.
I mean, they've had a lot of guys get saves then.
yeah, but I think like,
it's been weird.
And again, like I was watching a lot of those, and there
Yeah.
were kind of some reasons there.
Yeah. So the guy I think to watch out for is Connor Sadzik at some
Came in
point.
pretty early last night, though.
No, I know. I'm just saying he's nasty. I mean, he's hard fastball, hard slider, striking guys out. He put it this way, he has closer stuff. So, this is his I mean, he only threw 9 1/3 innings last year, so I think he's technically still a rookie. He's 27, so he's not young, but I could see it at some point.
Well, what's funny is, you mentioned they have a lot of weird stuff going on. I mean, the Mariners have 18 wins. I think they have the most wins. Tampa's got 19.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're right up there with the most wins in baseball. I guess the Dodgers have 20, sorry. But they have had a lot of wins. So that doesn't always mean they get saves, but it possibly means that guys are working multiple days in a row.
I mean, early in the year, they were having a different guy get a save every other night.
Right.
So it's very strange. All right, we'll run through these quick. Orioles, still a mess. They hardly ever get save opportunities. I think Givens got the last one.
Sure, great. Not
Great.
interested.
I honestly don't think any are worth owning.
Not with that team
really
in
don't.
that park. I mean, have you seen the home runs that just their team is giving? They're going
To the Twins.
like to the whole league.
Well, yeah, but in 6 games against the Twins,
I
they
mean,
gave
they're
up
right now on
23
pace
or
to
24.
massively set the home runs given up record.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
Because obviously I was watching the Twins games, and it's just every other batter, it seems like. Max Kepler, homer, another homer. All right. Red Sox, Barnes got the last save, but that's the same, right?
Yep.
Brazier Barnes.
Brazier
Committee.
Barnes. I mean, they used Brazier in the high leverage before
Right.
that. So
Right.
it's like, I don't even know. I would love to know what the thought process is, because they're both right-handed. Like they both,
Right.
I feel like have the same type of stuff.
I mean, Barnes is
I just
nastier,
wonder
right?
why you go to one sometimes in the higher leverage and one.
Right.
I
I wonder is there weird splits where Barnes throws a breaking ball lefties can't hit. I don't know. I have to look more into that. But yeah, it doesn't seem like there's a rhyme or reason. Just they want to keep them on their toes.
Yes.
Keep them ready. And then the Royals, your personal favorite.
Thought I had something.
We thought we were locked in on Peralta. He'd been pitching better. Looked like he was in that role. Kennedy was in an earlier
he had
multi-inning
a
role.
seven game string where he'd given up 1 run.
Peralta.
Yep.
Yeah, and then
I was
what happened?
Okay, and he had a save up in there.
Right.
He had a win in a top of the ninth kind of tie game.
Yeah.
Win in there, and they had been using Kennedy in the 6th and 7th or 7th and 8th.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, all right, I think we settled it down. Pop him in my lineup Monday, non-save situation, and he gives up 5 base runners and 2 runs.
That's not what you want.
No. So I have no
not what you
idea.
want.
I don't know what's going to happen next.
Okay.
And Kansas City.
KC.
All I know is that he's in my lineup until Sunday, so
Yeah.
that should be fun. Remember we used to talk about the emergency eject button? Mm-hmm, like you could use it once, I don't know, not once a week maybe, but once a month.
Right.
Where you could just even in the middle of a start, you could
Well,
just
yeah,
get
that's
that
what
guy
I
out.
always wanted. I wanted to be able to take my pitcher out.
Yeah.
If I got 6 shutout, and I was like, oh boy, we're pushing it.
Or that way, yeah. Or that
Yeah.
way. Like if he's pitching good, just get him out.
Yeah, you know what? He's going to get a win. I'm locked in. He's already got 8 Ks. Yeah, he might strike out the side in the 7th.
Don't even need it. Don't want it.
Out.
I'm thinking the other way.
Get him
you
out.
see your reliever come in and a non-save.
Oh, yeah.
Before even, I'm like, eject.
Oh,
eject.
everyone. I don't even know. Even the best one, I don't think I'd want to keep in.
No.
What good's going to come of that?
No good.
Oh, he struck out the side?
Or
Big deal.
the blown safe win, which feels like,
Oh, those shouldn't even count.
no, they shouldn't count.
Yeah.
The real horrific ones where they give up 3 runs, but then somehow
Right.
they get lucky and you're like, I got to win.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. We should really...
We need to overhaul fantasy scoring in general.
Yeah, we really do. All right. Well, I think that's it for now, right? For closers? I'm sure there's more. I'm
Yeah,
sure there's...
That's my list.
That's my list. There's always, every once in a while, you see some weird stuff. Like the Mets tried to get a 2-out save from Juris Familia, but that's because Diaz had
Don't
pitched
you
3
think-
days in a row.
So we have a podcast once a week,
Sure.
right? Those 7 days go by moderately fast. You would think every week I'm like, we're probably going to talk about 2 or 3 closers
Right.
next week. You'd think that the league could get through a week
Nah.
with nothing really changing.
Someone's
and every
gonna get
week
hurt.
I go to start taking notes and there's 6 or 7.
Yeah. It just... Well, I mean,
situations.
look, the Orioles... and the Mariners and the Royals and the Red Sox haven't been set all year.
Right.
And I don't think that's going to change. And then you throw in a few injuries, and we're trying to speak this Jeremy Jeffress thing into existence.
Yeah,
so
no
we're
one's listening. It's weird.
We're making that more complicated than it needs to be
It's
ourselves.
weird. No one
but
from Milwaukee's listening to our podcast.
they really aren't. So yeah, I think that's it for now. But I'm sure there'll be an injury next week. I don't know.
We're all day to day.
Aroldis Chapman's due, right?
Whoa, hey now.
Yeah,
Is that my squad?
Yeah.
You know who's been good? Blake Parker.
he has been. And they've stuck with him.
They've
and
stuck with him.
Trevor May is nowhere to be
Nowhere.
seen. And
Yeah.
Taylor.
I'm not sure
every once in a while, Taylor Rogers will get like a random 2-inning save
Yeah.
where you're like, what?
Yeah, but May is just nowhere to be found. Your top 10 closer, bold prediction.
Rocco Baldelli knew it, man. That guy knew what he was doing with that one. So anyway, that's about it for this week. Go to sportnews.com/fantasy where you get all sorts of stuff every day. DraftKings lineup, starting pitcher rankings, from Fantasy Alarm, the DFS picks. We also have gambling advice every day, every weekday.
That's good.
3 games from our partners at RotoQL or BetQL for their betting stuff, which is phenomenal.
Do they track their wins and losses that
They talk about it, like they referenced yesterday. Like we don't have like a running tally, but
they'll be like, we went 1 and 2 yesterday.
Oh yeah,
they went
that's
1 and 2?
today. It was we got 2 wrong. Like they missed the run line. It was -1.5. The Cardinals only won 3-2. They owned up to it.
Run lines over there? That's dicey.
Run line, money line.
Well, money line, yeah. But
Over, under.
Giving a run and a half in baseball, it's dicey.
It's a lot, and I felt good about it. And 3-2. But anyway, that was so. There's all that good stuff. Every week we have our waivers. Every week we're gonna have the trade value stock watch, which we get from Fantasy Alarm, which is really good, and of course this podcast. So all kinds of
Game
stuff.
of Thrones reviews on the site, though?
No.
None of that? No content there? No predictions, spoilers?
Don't know why anyone would do that.
Okay. I'll have to go to another site for
We're a
that.
sports site, so no.
I've seen it tied in on a lot of other sports sites.
Nah. It's nerd talk. Not like fantasy baseball, which cool people play. So
You could say that again.
you sure can. All right. That's it for this week. For Eric Ferreira, I'm Matt Latesky. Thanks for listening, and until next time.